So here we are. Disney has provided us with yet another live-action remake that nobody asked for. Let's look at Mulan. Yeah, this is not good. Some people have been telling me that I focus too much on movies I enjoy and that they want more ranting about stuff I don't like. So here you go. I did not like this. And I think I give up on Disney's ability to make this live action thing work. They've been releasing one after another for years, and I just wish they would stop. Where do I even start? I rewatched the 98 release before watching this, and I'm pleased to say it holds up as well as ever. Disney used to have a really great track record, and of those releases, Mulan was always one of my favorites for a number of reasons that this latest mess really sheds light on. I mean, the first one had charm, good pacing, lovable characters, a genuinely alive feeling, really exciting action scenes, and I know I've been pushing this a lot lately, good character. The new one has not this stuff. It's not an absolute atrocity, but it's not good. Underwhelming might be a better word. There's nothing it does particularly well, and it's not like I needed a shot-for-shot remake of the first one. The trailers made this look like a more believable take on the really, really old legend. It was a poem, then it was a play, then there were a number of animated and live-action releases in China, and then Disney made one, and then they kind of made another one, and now they've made this. So let's tear this thing apart, I guess. Editing. This one's first because of how much it bothers me. If you take the original and take out the singing and want a more serious experience, you gotta pay off the action scenes. The trailers made it look like a big martial art feature, and you know what? I was down for that, but not like this. Here, let's look at it this way. Here's a famous scene from the Netflix Daredevil series. Real quick, in no way do I think Mulan should have been modeled after this show, but it is worth noting how much more satisfying an action scene is when the camera doesn't get in the way. We see exactly what's going on. It's good choreography that we can follow, and it's exciting. Now, let's look at how many cuts are made in Mulan 2020 in one of their big action scenes. I'm just gonna throw a little counter up here to get our heads around just how many times the camera cuts during these. It's almost impossible to follow along with and appreciate what's happening on screen. And all the action scenes are like this, and it's just a shame. Anyway, moving on. Feeling. Excitement? I don't know, that fired up impact a movie can have when it seems alive. Much like the action scenes, this issue shows up everywhere. Jokes flatline, charm is all but missing, film sets feel like film sets rather than living environments. Honestly, how is it that an animated film from over 20 years ago feels more alive than this movie? Way too many scenes feel corny, fake, over-exaggerated. I mean, it isn't good for any scenes to have this, but it happens way too much. Remember this from the 98 cartoon? The sense of scale, the tension, the care we have for these characters, and the insurmountable odds? Now, I didn't need this avalanche scene to be recreated. Obviously, animation provides certain freedom that you can't create on a set, but none of this feels real. Suspension of disbelief is easier if you can sort of believe what you're watching is real. But it all feels so fake. It creates a distant, I don't think it would look anything like this feel. So if you can't make an avalanche feel that way, you do something else. Instead, it just sorta happens. Everything in this movie just sorta happens. The score sounds nice, but it's constantly telling us we should be feeling things. In a movie that doesn't really have any feeling at all. This latest one flatlines except for one moment near the beginning. Her dad tells her she needs to hide her true self and get married for the honor of their family. It's really sad, and for a little bit, with tears welling in her eyes, there was a bit of life and feel. But I can't recall another moment like that, especially when compared to the one from 98. I'm assuming whether or not you've seen this latest one that you've seen the cartoon. Remember this?
The greatest gift and honor is having you for a daughter.
Feeling. Even without the rest of the movie, you can pick up on some of the feels in this scene. So how come when we get real people on screen, it feels less alive than the cartoon? It doesn't make any sense, but okay, anyway, here we go again. Besides writing, the thing I focus most on these days is character. All of the above criticism would have been countered with better character, and we don't get much. Performances are stiff and kind of lifeless, but the far greater offender is this. Let's compare the two movies a bit more. Not because 2020 Mulan needed to be a recreation, but because if they were going to retell this story or a version of this story, they should have made it comparable in quality. And for that matter, why do they keep doing this? Sorry, I held out as long as I could. Why take these beloved stories and characters and remake them? Because the technology exists now? How are you going to live up to these classics? Classics that are so beloved. Talk about big shoes to fill. What were they hoping for? Oh man, the original Beauty and the Beast sucks compared to this new thing. Wow, each version is just as good as the other. Maybe at best that was what they were gonna get, but they're not. Yeah, they keep making them because they know people will pay. Parents need family-safe movies and they will pay for them. Quality is dead, people. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about good movies. This is why I talk about movies I like, because it's such a rare treat when I can actually walk away from a movie saying, wow, that was something. It's all just a big scam to print money for the mouse and to keep the train running on and on and on and on. So, character. The best way to dig into this is to look at Mulan herself. I'll just jump between the 98 and the 2020 version. Both characters want to not be confined to the traditional role set before them. But let's look deeper. 98 Mulan. She's smart, determined, and convicted. 2020 Mulan. Kinda has superpowers. 98 Mulan. Improves as she learns. 2020 Mulan. Doesn't really start killing it until she lets go and lets her superpowers start doing their work. One is relatable and compelling. One isn't. 98 Mulan becomes a hero, not because of her kill count, but because of her capable mind and conviction. 2020 Mulan becomes a hero because she's got this overabundance of chi. From the very beginning of the movie, how much growth can a character go through if her big moment hasn't come from growth? She's been capable since she was a kid, almost like it has nothing to do with her. This robs her character of character, an issue that the 98 counterpart did not have. Her training eventually kicks in to make her a capable soldier, but only because of her determination. And ultimately, the training isn't enough. When all is said and done, her creativity and cleverness are what make the difference between saving the day and failing. This is character. The broader strokes of the story arc are similar, but only one version has real character growth. And this reveals a lot about how both movies approach, well, everything. There was some hope for something interesting with this evil doppelganger character they added, the ultimately unaccepted and rejected version of Mulan that's pushed to her limits, the version of herself she desperately wants to avoid turning into. There's potential there, and they do absolutely nothing with it. Even when there's a chance for her to have a challenging moment or to relate to the struggles of this other character, nothing. It passes in a matter of seconds and this dull journey just continues on. Disney has done this before. Yeah, real quick. 2 lightsabers on a hinge? So it can become a double blade, right? So how on earth is this an improvement over the regular double blade? What mechanical benefit is there to be able to switch them like that? Are both blades in the same direction ever going to be useful? I don't care. I didn't like Mulan. The story of a young woman overcoming adversity and society's expectations of becoming a hero is all the material you need to make an amazing story. But they didn't. They didn't do it. Again. I don't know, man. Anyone super happy with it? Original cartoon, super overrated? Eddie Murphy is an underappreciated genius? Let me know in the comment section below. I didn't love this movie, but I love you guys. We'll talk soon.